Good Tuesday morning, taking a live look outside downtown Denver, dark and early. We got some rain yesterday, and man, was that nice. Nice little change. We needed the moisture. Thanks for joining us. I'm Corey Rose.
And I'm Jordan Chavez. Let's get a check of the forecast now with meteorologist Chris Bianchi. Chris, that moisture was a welcome sight yesterday.
It sure was, and it fell in a lot of really good areas as well, Jordan and Corey. We saw some of that rain over on the Corey fire, and that helped, I think, firefighters get some pretty good gains on the fire as well as on the Alexander Mountain fire. In fact, our friends up in Estes Park, you picked up about 2 inches of rain in about 30 minutes yesterday with some hail to boot. So some pretty decent storms. We're going to have that threat again for today for us across eastern Colorado. Mostly in the 60s, eastern plains right now, 50s for us in the high country. But later on today, another warm one ahead. So if you're hoping for that cool down, got a couple more days to go. Mid-90s for today. Afternoon showers and storms. So similar to today, similar to yesterday, but slightly higher storm odds today. And I think 1 or 2 of these will put down some maybe small to medium-sized hail. I'll show you that in just a second. Highs today, mostly in the 90s eastern plains. Average high for today is 89 for us in Denver. We'll be about 5 degrees above that. But that threat for severe weather, again, slightly higher severe weather odds. We just got a bit more instability in the air, a bit more low-level moisture that may generate some small hail as well as some gusty winds. For most of you, we're talking about lower impact storms, but 1 or 2 of you could see some quartered, maybe even ping pong ball sized hail from these storms later on this afternoon. So between about 1 and 7 p.m., we'll see those storms develop. They'll push south and east, Palmer Divide, and El Paso County on south. You're going to have the best chance at seeing some of those stronger storms for today. But everybody gets in on the action come Thursday and Friday. This is thanks to our big cool down that we've been advertising for a little while now. But this is going to bring some meaningful relief with cooler temperatures and widespread rainfall. Details on that coming up in my full forecast, but I want to send things over to my friend Erica Lopez for a look at traffic.
All right, Chris, thank you. Right now, a live look at our drive from CDOT, where we are moving along just fine at 225 and DTC Boulevard. We want to go ahead and bring you over to our map right now. Of course, we are still dealing with that closure because of the Alexander Mountain fire of Highway 34 between Loveland and Estes Park, so still not passable in both directions. Westbound I-70 drive looking just fine between E470 and 76. It's only going to take you 13 minutes. Travel into Commerce City still in the green on westbound 76, and Denver to Boulder commute not giving us any trouble on westbound Highway 36.
All right, Erica, thank you. Right now, the Colorado Bureau of Investigation is asking for your help in finding a missing 74-year-old man. They say the last time that anyone heard from Robert Reed was around 7 last night near East 56th Avenue, just west of Quebec Street in Commerce City. Reed's car is a 2006 light blue Chrysler Town & Country with a Colorado license plate number AGD 124. There is damage to the rear driver's side as well as the passenger side, and if you see Reed, you are asked to call 911 or the Commerce City Police Department.
Today, a trial is set to start against a man accused of stabbing a Wheat Ridge police officer 2 years ago. Now, as reporter Brianna Clark joins us in studio. And Brianna, you talked with the officer who investigators say was stabbed 12 times.
Yeah, 1 in the neck, or rather 10 in the neck, 1 in the chest, and another in the back. It happened April 13th, 2022, here near 44th Avenue and Ward Road in Wheat Ridge. Officer Fisher tells me he was responding to a routine call about a suspicious vehicle, a stolen U-Haul, when he was attacked by the man sitting inside it. Fisher survived and has been waiting more than 2 years to get justice.
I don't necessarily want to forget. I mean, it's been an enormous part of my life, unfortunately. And so I'm not going to forget it. There's no way I can, but this will be the final spokes in the wheel, so to speak, to where I can put it behind me and just move on.
There are several videos showing what happened. Fisher tells me he hasn't seen all the clips and he doesn't plan to. When they show them in court this week, he says he will not be watching. Jury selection is expected to last all day today, with opening statements expected to begin tomorrow. If they do happen to get all 12 jurors seated this morning, the trial could start as early as this afternoon. It is expected to wrap up on Friday, but it also could wrap up on Tuesday. And guys, Fisher is still dealing with medical issues because of this. He actually has another surgery scheduled for later this month to help with all the pain that he's having in his neck.
Oh my gosh, he's been through so much.
So much, and his family as well. I mean,
Right.
his daughter was training to be a Wheat Ridge police officer when she heard the call, responded to the scene, and they wouldn't let her get out of the car because her dad was injured.
Right.
Yeah, it's so traumatic. I mean, you can understand why he doesn't want to watch those videos in court. All right, Brianna, we appreciate the update. Thank you. Well, the weather is helping firefighters get a better handle on the quarry fire in Jefferson County. It is now 572 acres and 45% contained. Firefighters have been performing controlled burns in the burn area for the past day, which is why you may have noticed more smoke. The sheriff's office can't say for certain when all evacuations will be lifted, but they do say when that happens, only residents will be allowed back for those first 48 hours to help them settle in. Firefighters are also making good progress on the Alexander Mountain Fire burning in Larimer County. It remains at around 9,600 acres or about 15 square miles, but it is now 74% contained. Thousands of people were allowed back into their homes yesterday, although around 900 homes still remain under mandatory evacuation orders. More than 200 more are under voluntary evacuation orders this morning. Well, this could just be the start of a long and dangerous stretch of fires in Colorado, unfortunately. Some of you have reached out to us asking if this could be like 2020 all over again. 9 News sat down with state climatologist Russ Schumacher. He says conditions are not as extreme as they were in 2020, but as climate change drives more extreme heat, that leads to more extreme fires.
When the dry conditions come around and it's also hot, that's worse than if it was just dry. So we see when droughts are happening now, they tend to be more intense. They happen a little bit more frequently. The odds are kind of tilted towards drought happening, and when it happens, being more severe. And then that plays into wildfires.
And that's why we'll be keeping an eye on the drought monitor through the rest of the summer and fall. Thankfully, this stretch of cooler, wet weather will help with that.
There are more than a dozen animals now up for adoption after being rescued from the wildfires in Colorado. They were moved south to the Humane Society of the Pikes Peak region because NOCO Humane Society in Larimer County is dealing with an influx of animals. In all, the facility in Colorado Springs took in 13 cats, 6 dogs, and 4 turkeys. Now it's in need of foster parents, but most importantly, they're hoping people will come and adopt these animals.
Not owned animals that were displaced by the fires, but pets that were already looking for their homes, and now they're looking for their homes here in southern Colorado.
Humane Society of the Pikes Peak region says as long as they have room in their shelter, they'll do their best to continue helping.
Later today, Denver City leaders and residents will join together to celebrate Downtown Denver National Night Out. The event is an opportunity for downtown residents, businesses, and workers to meet the people that keep them safe. City officials like the fire chief, the police chief, Mayor Mike Johnston, and Denver City Council members will all be there. National Night Out will be at Skyline Park tonight from 4:30 to 7:30 p.m. Of course, I know other agencies across the state are doing this in their own neighborhoods as well, so check with your local police department.
More than 200 new laws will take effect in Colorado this week. Tomorrow, more than 40% of the bills passed by state legislators earlier this year will kick in, 90 days after the end of the 2024 legislative session. The new laws cover everything from gun permit rules to concert ticket fees. It's 5:09 right now, and today marks 79 years since the U.S. dropped an atomic bomb on the Japanese city of Hiroshima, a somber anniversary for the first and only country to ever be hit by an atomic bomb. More than 200,000 people died. 3 days after bombing Hiroshima, the U.S. dropped a second atomic bomb in the city of Nagasaki. That attack forced Japan to surrender.
Today, the National Transportation Safety Board kicks off an investigative hearing into the Alaska Airlines flight in January where a door plug blew out of a Boeing jet. This comes as Boeing's incoming CEO, Kelly Ortberg, is set to take over the plane maker amid ongoing safety concerns. Ortberg begins his new role on Thursday. Vice President Kamala Harris is now officially the Democratic nominee for president.
This comes after the Democratic National Committee released the results of its virtual roll call vote just after midnight. It shows she has secured the delegates needed. NBC's Susan McGinnis has the latest on Harris's choice for a running mate expected today.
After much suspense, anticipation, and guesswork, today's the day. Vice President Kamala Harris names her running mate. The announcement coming after Harris officially becomes the party's nominee, making history as the first woman of color at the top of a major party ticket. The unveiling of her VP expected to include a video message, social media posts, text messages to supporters, and appeals for donations.
Hey, everybody.
Hey,
how are you?
In the final hours, the smart money still focused on Governor Josh Shapiro of Pennsylvania, a must-win swing state. But political insiders say don't count out Arizona Senator Mark Kelly or Minnesota Governor Tim Walz and others. Harris and her new wingman rally tonight in Philadelphia, then kick off a battleground state tour covering Wisconsin, Michigan, North Carolina, Arizona, and Nevada.
Please welcome the next Vice President of the United States, Senator J.D. Vance.
And in the most sincere form of flattery, Trump running mate J.D. Vance holds rallies in several of those same states. With polls showing a dead heat, the Trump campaign blaming Biden and Harris for the stock market drops.
We have never been down 1,000 points ever, not even intraday on the NASDAQ.
Bidenomics is working. It's working.
Attack ads, a sure sign of a tight race with 3 months to go to Election Day. Susan McGinnis, NBC News, Washington.